Good afternoon, everybody. Car Micah here. I'll tell you what a difference a few hours makes. I came out this morning and I recorded 4 vlogs, 4 videos, and it was absolutely roasting hot, beautiful sunshine. Now, well, it's still roasting hot, but it's certainly looking greyer. Whether I'll get to the end of this ride without a rain on me, I don't know. But to be honest, although I normally complain about it, it'd be nice to have a bit of rain, cool me down a bit. I'll go and lie down in the garden and just let it rain on me. But I came out this morning, recorded these 4 videos, got home, and partly my mistake for not checking between videos, so partly a noob error, as you might say, or a beginner's mistake. But partly something that if you're into this vlogging lark, motor vlogging lark, you get occasionally, I've had it a few times, where all of them are ruined. And in this case, the reason all of them were ruined was I took the card out of the camera, plugged it into my laptop, downloaded all the videos into a folder, and I looked at the folder and I could see the little thumbnails of the videos, and every one of them, big red splotch on it. So what's happened is I've set off, come out of the house, hit a fly before I've even pressed the start recording button, and it splattered fly blood all over the lens. And then I've done 4 videos and they've all just had this splat of blood. So I'm coming out again now to try and redo those same 4 videos. I'll wait for these lights. Oh, good timing. So I want to wait for those lights. Now the first of those videos was Amy's questions. This is Suffolk Amy via Suffolk Andy has set out a set of 5 questions. Now she's done this twice now, and I answered the first time via the comments on the video, and I said in the comments on the second set of questions, well, I'll answer these in a video, but I thought I might as well answer them all, so I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do, this video will be Amy's questions volume 1, I suppose, and then I'm going to do Amy's questions volume 2. So let's get started, because there's 5 questions, and I'm going to try and make this not last half an hour. So question number 1 is, what type of music do you listen to? Which is a tricky one really, because I wouldn't say there's only a single genre of music I listen to. I listen to all sorts of stuff, but I will say one thing about the type of music I listen to is it's all got instruments in it. And I mean bands that play instruments, so not your kind of boy band stuff where it tends to be a group of lads singing and prancing about the place. That's another thing. Most of the music I listen to has no dancing involved in it. But to give you an idea, it's probably mainly to the rock side of things. So from quite tame, soft stuff, through to proper headbanging, heavy metal, death metal, all that kind of thing. Although there's a lot of other stuff besides that I listen to. So on the softer side of things, going back to the classics like Whitesnake, softer rocky bands like, I mean more modern ones would be things like Lacuna Coil. I'm a big fan of Lacuna Coil. On the heavier side, going back again, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Metallica. More modern would be Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, Korn, that kind of thing. People have said in the past when they've seen me in t-shirts on Hangouts, I might have a Slipknot t-shirt on, and found it quite, I don't know, a shock is the right word, but quite surprising that I like that type of music. But I think that type of music is really good for getting the emotions going, and maybe getting out of your system before you try and go for a ride and do vlogging. I know there are some really angry vloggers out there who would do the entire video with shouting and swearing, but I don't want to do that. Red light gives me an opportunity to have a quick look at what question number 2 is. So, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? Now this one's really difficult for me because there's a lot of people in life will tell you, I don't really care what people think of me. And I'm one of them. Except that, unlike quite a few of them, I really, apart from in a very few areas, and for a very few selected people, I really don't care, in general, what people think of me. It's very kind of you, thank you. And to be embarrassed by something means that you have to care. It's not like having regrets. I have regrets, but I don't have things that embarrass me as in, you know, what other people think. But to come up with something for you, there's a story my mother loves to tell everybody about me, because I think she thinks I find it embarrassing, even though I don't really. I've just heard it a million times. So, and it's the story. I'd been to the dentist and I'd had a tooth out, so you can imagine I wasn't best pleased. I mean, this is when I was quite young, baby teeth or milk teeth, whatever you call them, but very young. I'd had a tooth out. They didn't really go in for anaesthetic back in those days, so it was blooming painful, and there was a lot of blood involved. So I wasn't happy. And we were walking back from the dentist. Dentist was probably 1.5 miles away from the house. So we were walking home, and we had to cross a road at a crossing. So we stopped at the crossing, waiting for the lights to go, you know, the green man to let me cross. And there was a woman walking her dog, and she had a bulldog, or one of those frowny faced dogs. And apparently I said, in all honesty, I feel how that dog looks, Mum. Anyway, she loves telling us that, telling people that story. Question 3, I've remembered from the phone screen, is: do you have a nickname other than your name for YouTube? Not really, I don't think. I mean, I gave myself a self-appointed one, but I don't think that really counts. That's more Rimmer style, isn't it? I'm Ace Rimmer, not Bonehead. No doubt I have a lot of nicknames that people don't say to my face. But, you know, whenever you have to give people jobs to do, they'll come up with nicknames for you when they don't like those jobs, will they? But no, the only one, really, I suppose, is Rain God. Which I actually got out of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, one of the books. There's a guy in it who doesn't realise he's a rain god, and the clouds just want to be near him because they know he is. So he says, you know, it's always raining, it literally always rains. And I go through periods where it seems to rain every time I get the bike out. So I've kind of said that one, and it seems to have stuck. Right, question 4. I've forgotten it. I have to find somewhere to stop. Okay, question 4 is: do you have any hobbies that are not motorbike related? Now, when I first thought about this one and answered it, the obvious answer was software. I love software development, and I've got a website that I created about 10 years ago, and I've been writing articles for it ever since. And the articles kind of go from a few hundred words at the low end to a few thousand words at the high end, averaging probably between 8 and 1,000 word articles. And I've written about 1,000 articles over that period, so I've, you know, doing 2 or 3 a week. But unfortunately, I've lost my motivation with it. It seems nowadays that people's attention span isn't that great. I mean, people will grumble about the length of this video, no doubt, because people's attention span seems to have dropped to minutes nowadays, which is a real shame, because you don't learn anything to any expert level. Not that I ever profess to be an expert in anything, but you don't learn anything to that kind of level without putting in effort and time. But it does seem that people's attention span has dropped so much, and that's lost. It just made me lose motivation to carry on putting the level of effort in. So it's a difficult one. So at the minute I'm thinking about new hobbies to take up and maybe a new project to get into. Unfortunately, the projects that are interesting me at the minute are motorbike related, which doesn't answer Amy's question, so sorry about that one. And then finally, question 5 was, what was the first vlog of Suffolk Andy's that you watched? And I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. But I had a look through the videos. I know it'll be an early one. So I've had a look through his videos and kind of had a think about what was most likely. And I first started watching vlogs when I was learning to ride a bike, which was nearly 3 years ago. So I suspect it was probably the one he did about motorbike riding test, 1970s style I think it was, where he's talking about how easy it used to be to do your test, where essentially you had somebody stood there watching you go up and down a road twice and then went, yep, there's your licence, mate. Now, some people I think will say, if only it was like that now, because it now seems overly complex and expensive to do your test. But then again, occasionally you'll see somebody driving and you wonder if that's the kind of test they did. So maybe it's a good thing that it's more complicated now. So that probably wasn't the first one I watched, but it's certainly the earliest one I remember watching. So that's the end of volume 1 of Amy's questions. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm now going to go and pull in and check my camera for blood splats before I start recording volume 2. So thanks for watching, ride safe, thanks for the questions, Amy, and I'll talk to you all again soon.